Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Bull Run FX. It's another week and it's another forecast. Let's get straight into it. So, let's start off with the DXY. So the DXY kind of initially first broke this bearish trend line. We saw the uprise going here, testing or creating this area of support resistance, and then creating this key area of support, which is a 96.32 line, which was a fantastic line to be finding some sort of buy opportunities, and obviously the breakthrough for the sell, and obviously once again for the retest midweek last week. Now we once again find ourselves in this bearish channel for DXY. Now the key levels here. Now this level here, right at the bottom for support, 95.70 is a huge level. We thought maybe on Friday we would have seen this as a dollar had a very weak day and weak performance on Friday. But ultimately, I think in the last 4 hours we saw a rise from the 96.96 towards the 96 level. So next week, what can we expect? So I can still believe the fact that we are going to play within this area. I believe what we actually are going to see is we're going to see a movement towards this level. I believe in the first early part of the week. So so maybe we may need to watch Monday and see what happens on Monday for the rest of the week. So if we see this movement down towards the 95.70 and expecting a bounce upwards, breaking through this channel and maybe once again testing this area first, 96.32 level, before we see an upwards movement. Now, if on Monday and on some part of Tuesday we see the rise towards this top trend line, right? Towards the 96.32 level, which I think is going to be quite difficult to break. If it fails to break this, then what we can expect is further downwards movement for the dollar, showing us a little bit of correctiveness for the massive rise that we had during the pandemic. Now, there's continuing rise of coronavirus, COVID-19, which I believe will continue to impact the status and demand for the dollar. So we'll have to continue to watch that. But ultimately, I am pegging a strong dollar this week. It's been a week, throughout the week, it's had, completely negative performances for the last 3 weeks now. So I'm expecting some sort of bullish movement for the dollar this week to try and bring a little bit of correctiveness before we further see a future downward movement. Moving on to AUDUSD. So AUDUSD is continuing to play still within this bullish flag of some sort. It's within this wedge currently. Now in the interim, next week what we can expect, which we had a massive bullish rise midweek from Tuesday for the weakness of the dollar. So I believe the fact that we're going to see a test of this 0.705 level right towards here, and I think here is where we can potentially get in for some sort of short sell buy setups, sell setups coming towards this bottom trend line. However, if the dollar is really strong this week, right, we're going to see a correctiveness first of all to this support level here, right, which is the 0.692 level. If not, we may see I can't see the price coming to here. It's just far too much of a drop, and I just can't imagine the dollar to be that strong for it to pull off this kind of movement all the way down here. But ultimately, this is the area that we want to look for. If the price does come to this support area, we want to look for the buy setups going towards here, or at least the sell setups from the top trend line, or at least this resistance area here at 0.705. Moving on to Euro USD. So this had a massive movement last week. Obviously benefited from the weak dollar as it has a direct correlation. We saw the breakout of this bullish flag setup, which a lot of the pairs had. Sorry, apologies for that. Which a lot of the setups had. Majority of the setups that where the dollar was the quote. A lot of them had this bullish flag. We saw it in AUDUSD, we'll see it EURUSD, and we'll see it in some of the other ones as well. So we had that breakout. So this area here for this breakout of this trend line would have been a perfect buy setup last week on maybe Tuesday. Like I always say in every video, wait to see what happens on Monday to then obviously decide how the week's going to go for the dollar and some of the major pairs therefore and so on. So what can we expect here? Now, once again, we've got this interim area of resistance here at this top level. So I think one of two things is going to happen. Very simple. We're going to see a test of this 1.5 level, which is a huge level for Euro USD, right? So most likely, if we do reach there, early part of the week, the second we're going to see a midweek reversal and a bounce from this level down probably towards here or even further here. However, if on Monday, right, the dollar is massively strong, right, this is just going to drop here and maybe even drop to this 1.13 level before finding upward movement to the to break beyond 1.15. So I think that is key, because we're definitely going to see some sort of retest and maybe even a break and retest here. So that's a good indication to obviously look out for and have a clear strategy going forward for the rest of the week. Moving on to GBPUSD. Okay, so this is moving, obviously it'll move a little bit different. There's a lot of hoo-ha going here, happening here in the UK around COVID-19, a lot of specific cities being locked down, etc, etc. Cases, we're still a bit unsure, are the government providing the correct number of, data, sorry, are they providing the correct data? And I think there's always, obviously, a lot of Brexit news is now coming up, and the negotiations obviously starting up again, so that is going to have a play in it. Other than that, I can't see anything else on the horizon in regards to obviously the political aspect of things, which may have an impact on the pound. But ultimately, economies are starting to come back up. We're seeing obviously a lot of businesses, trading again. Stocks are starting to rise a little bit as well. There's a few little obviously stories going around in regards to obviously how companies are truly performing. But ultimately, I don't think that's going to have a massive impact on the pound as such. I think this week we're going to be heavily influenced by any sort of Brexit talks, as well as obviously whatever the country decides in regards to COVID-19 and their strategy going forward, and the dollar itself. So what can we expect? I still think that this is going to play within this channel between the 1.25 level and the 1.266 level. As you can see, I've obviously got an alert here set up just in case if it does reach towards this level. I can potentially look for some sort of sell setups. But ultimately, in the interim, depending on how Monday is, we can expect this level to be tested, and then obviously looking for that buy going upwards. But as I'm expecting the dollar to be quite strong, I think we're going to see a test of this trend line, potential area with this support resistance level. Look for some sort of sell setups coming down towards here, which will give you enough pips for the rest of the week. Moving on to NZDUSD. So here once again we see this bullish flag, right, setup, which was obviously roughly around, if I was just to quickly draw it, it was there. We could easily say that this was some sort of bullish flag, something like this. If I just quickly draw it, and we see the breakout that happened here just over 2 weeks ago. Now where we're currently looking here with the prices, right, it's currently trading within this area here, and we see a little bit of consolidation happening over the last 2 weeks within these two areas. So what can we expect going forward? Now, I believe that this trend line may get broken. I don't think it's going to be that strong. Reason being is just because of the fact that it's really looking at it's quite small. It's quite a minute area that we're looking at. So maybe we can see a test of this trend line, a little bit of a resistance area here, but obviously you've seen my alert here for the resistance, key resistance area here right at the top, and then obviously kind of looking for sell setups from this area here or this area here coming downwards here towards these areas here, right? And that's what I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for some sort of sell setups. However, if Monday performs against the dollar is really weak and continue on Friday's performance, right, then obviously we're going to be looking for some sort of buy setup. So this area here, looking for a break and retest of this area going upwards towards the moon, if that's what you want to call it for NZDUSD. Moving on to USDCHF. So this is a huge performer at the back end of last week. Massive performer. The reason why I say that is it's the first time, actually, if I'm honest with you, I've seen a pair kind of being oversold for an entire day, or at least 12 hours or so. If you look at RSI here, we can see from about 9 o'clock, 9:15, right, it was bearish all the way up until the markets closed at 10 o'clock, which is massive, which is huge. Just showcases how weak the dollar and at least how strong the CHF was, which is very, very surprising considering the fact that the CHF was very weak early on in the week. So maybe that was a midweek reversal coming in. Let's go back and looking at the 4-hour time frame. This week, you know, this is looking like a no-brainer. I think this is probably one of the easiest ones to trade this week. Reason being is because we see this massive support area going to be tested. So we can expect, maybe if it doesn't rise from here, we can expect a downwards movement towards this level here, where you can see my alert is 0.93600 level, and then obviously the upwards movement, you know, is going to come through. However, if we see a break, then the retest is going to come in, right, and we're going to see a further sellwards. So you've either got two setups, you know, and you just got to wait and see how Monday plays out, and then obviously from then on you've got, you know, very simple maybe swings for the rest of the week to determine obviously the movement of USDCHF. Moving on to USDCAD. So two juggernauts, like I like to call them, going at it again each other. You know, some key support and resistance area were being tested this week. So we saw this upper resistance area being tested, would have given you a huge amount of pips, man. All right, all the way down there from a good 121, 122 pips in the space of like 2 days. Before we saw a reversal come in. As we can see on the 4-hour chart, it was obviously oversold as well. So, you know, there's a lot of pressure here building up. As we can see, look, almost about 3 inverted hammers there, pushing this price back up again. So what can we expect? Now, it already had a breakthrough this bearish channel quite a few weeks ago, almost a month ago. So going forward, you know, what I'm expecting for this, right now it's in the middle of nowhere. I don't really want to trade. I may have to wait till Tuesday or Wednesday to see a clear indication of maybe a buy or a sell. So I think I'm going to have to wait to see if the market comes up there or if it comes down towards this level. Whichever level it gets to, you know, here is your sell setup and here is your buy setup. Obviously looking that way, and from here looking that way, right? And we're just going to have to wait and see on this one. A bit similar to USDCHF. I'm going to wait and see obviously which way it's going to move in the first early part of the week. And then obviously kind of give us a clear indication for our setups for the remainder of the week. Okay, so moving on to USDJPY. Some USDJPY is a funny one, but however, this week was a good week to trade. You know, it tested off some key support areas, gave us a nice little reversal from this resistance area here at 1.107.4. For next week, what can we expect? Like I've drawn here, I think we're gonna see a downwards movement in the first part of the week, and then as I am predicting a bullish movement for the dollar this week, we can expect USDJPY to rise and test this resistance area here. And if it breaks that, then we've got another key resistance area roughly around here as well. Moving on to gold. Gold has been super crazy, man. Like every week, you can just see this is the last time it had a bearish week, which was the 3rd of June. Well, the week ending 7th of June. So well over a month, you know, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of bullish momentum, right, for gold. Huge, man, huge. So this week, I think we saw the fact that a little bit of a consolidation, a little bit of a, you know, slowdown in the gold's movement. I don't think that's an indication that it's now going to reverse. I still think, you know, we're going to see some higher highs being created for gold. What can we expect this week? I think we can expect the price to bounce off here in the interim, and obviously we're looking upwards here to the sky, man. 1850, I'm quoting it now. In the next few weeks, that is what we're going to see, man. However, if this area gets broken, you know, we'll see maybe a downwards test towards the 1751 level before a further movement upwards here. Ultimately, I can only see gold going one way, and it's super crazy. It is super crazy that gold is still continuing to rise, but you know, it is what it is, and hopefully we can catch some good buy setups for gold in the coming weeks. But yeah, so that's my forecast this week, guys. You know, thank you very much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, do all of that. You know, my website's still not up and running yet, but soon it will be up and running. You know, I hope you guys check that out. Let me know if you guys want to see any more videos, if it is like a different indication or specific videos that you want to see me doing analysis, etc. Just hit me up, let me know, comment below in the video. But yeah, peace out, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.